thus began excavations near to the most obvious ruins at the site, the Great Ziggurat of Ur.
When the Great Ziggurat of Ur was built, it was meant to honor gods who watched from the moon.
All ziggurats in that time for worship, temples. This building also in that time, temple of the moon god.
But modern technology may have found something far stranger buried beneath it.
Every day we come here, we have a surprise. We have something new to find.
Using LiDAR and AI, scientists uncovered hidden chambers and artifacts that seem to defy all known history.
This wind, it's not good for it.
Unbelievable. Look
Yes.
at these painted lines on the side of
Yes.
it. Absolutely beautiful.
Yes, this is what of the new kingdom.
The system's final report came with a single unsettling line. Anomalous origin detected. Non-human pattern. For the first time, ancient myth and modern science might be meeting underground. Moon-aligned ziggurat. Long before skyscrapers touched the clouds, there stood a colossal monument rising from the sands of southern Mesopotamia, the Great Ziggurat of Ur, built around 2100 BCE by King Ur-Nammu and later completed by his son Shulgi.
This is the Ziggurat of Ur, a 4,000-year-old religious symbol built by King Ur-Nammu.
It wasn't just another temple. It was a message to the heavens, a statement of devotion to Nana, the Sumerian moon god who ruled over time, tides, and destiny itself. To the people of Ur, Nana wasn't a distant figure floating in the sky. He was their guide, deciding when to plant, when to harvest, and when to celebrate. And the ziggurat built in his honor reflected that deep connection. Picture a giant, multi-layered staircase stretching upward from the flat desert, almost like an ancient version of a high-rise, except this one was meant for gods, not people. Its core was made of mud brick, protected by an outer shell of baked brick glued together with thick black bitumen. From a distance, it would have gleamed under the moonlight, each level glowing faintly as if reflecting the light of Nana himself. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Many researchers believe the Ziggurat of Ur wasn't just aligned with the landscape. It may have been aligned with the moon itself. This wasn't random architecture. The structure's stairways and shrines, they say, were positioned in a way that followed the moon's path across the night sky. On special nights, perhaps during a full moon or lunar festival, the moon might have appeared to rest perfectly over the ziggurat's upper shrine.
All ziggurats in that time for worship, temples. This building also in that time, temple of the moon god.
Imagine the sight, the great silver disk hovering directly above the temple, as if Nana had descended to bless his people. This idea fits perfectly with what we know about the Sumerians. They were brilliant sky watchers. Their priests, called Watchers of the Heavens, tracked lunar cycles with astonishing precision long before telescopes existed. Every phase of the moon meant something. It marked time, signaled seasons, and, in their eyes, carried divine messages. For them, building a moon-aligned temple wasn't superstition. It was science and faith woven together. But just as the story seems to settle into ancient wonder, things take a darker turn. According to recent scans beneath the ziggurat, archaeologists have found something that doesn't fit the known blueprints: hidden chambers buried deep below the base. The secret chambers. In 2025, a new kind of explorer made history. Not a human, but an AI system built to see what eyes could not. Using advanced LiDAR scanning, the technology mapped every inch beneath the Great Ziggurat of Ur. What it revealed left even veteran archaeologists speechless: a hidden network of chambers, untouched for over 4,000 years, buried deep beneath the structure's massive stone base. These voids, unseen by the human eye for thousands of years, stretch nearly 66 feet long and 33 feet wide, sitting about 49 feet beneath the surface. It's like uncovering a forgotten world beneath one of history's most iconic temples. The discovery hints that there's more to the ziggurat than its grand steps and moon-aligned terraces.
What exactly is a ziggurat? They were essentially staged temple towers, the type of structure most characteristic of worship in Mesopotamia.
It may have had an entire secret layer, purposefully built for reasons still unknown. To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to look at what's been found elsewhere. At the Great Ziggurat of Ur, archaeologists in the 1950s unearthed underground rooms filled with clay tablets, ritual statues, and sacred offerings. Those finds revealed that the Sumerians used subterranean spaces for highly restricted religious or administrative purposes, places where only the highest priests were allowed. If Ur's hidden chambers followed the same pattern, they could hold priceless relics or sacred objects never meant for human eyes again. But what exactly might lie inside? Some believe these chambers could be royal tombs, possibly belonging to ancient kings or high priests. The royal cemetery of Ur, discovered nearly a century ago, already revealed burial sites filled with gold jewelry, weapons, and even human attendants sacrificed to accompany their masters into the afterlife. Could these newly found chambers conceal Ur-Nammu himself, the legendary king who built the ziggurat? There's also a spiritual angle. In Sumerian belief, the underworld wasn't a place of evil. It was sacred. Hidden chambers might have been shrines to underworld deities like Ereshkigal, or sites for secret moon rituals conducted by priests. But here's the part that makes the AI's findings so unsettling. When researchers compared the scans to Nippur's chambers, nothing lined up. The symmetry, the density, the lack of visible entryways, all of it defied normal design. The AI's pattern recognition module, built on the same deep neural architecture used by NASA's Robonaut systems, concluded that the formations beneath Ur were non-biogenic, in other words, not of human origin. The AI's warning. In 2025, a new kind of discovery was made, not by shovels or brushes, but by AI and quantum computing. Using neural networks trained on thousands of Sumerian cuneiform inscriptions from cities like Nippur and Eridu, researchers at the University of Oxford combined cutting-edge data science with archaeology. Their results stunned everyone. According to their models, the underground chambers beneath the Ziggurat of Ur likely contain a hidden library of clay tablets, Ubaid lizardmen statues, and artifacts engraved with spiral, DNA-like patterns. These findings could be tied to the mysterious Anunnaki legends, stories of ancient beings said to have shaped early human civilization. The system behind the analysis used a 200-qubit quantum processor, inspired by NASA's digital nervous system. It worked much like the synapse neural network that powers Boston Dynamics' Atlas robot. But instead of balancing on two legs, it balanced data across history. By comparing ancient texts with physical artifacts,
Sumerian tablets are probably one of the oldest form of a written record that we have.
it began detecting unusual patterns. The AI found links between Ubaid-era figurines from Tel al-Ubaid, statues with elongated skulls and almond-shaped eyes, and descriptions of sky visitors in early Sumerian myths. Even more intriguing were symbols etched beside the statues, spiral designs that strongly resembled the structure of DNA. To the researchers, these images echoed Zecharia Sitchin's theory that the Anunnaki genetically engineered humans nearly 500,000 years ago, mixing their DNA with early hominids to create a workforce for gold mining. When the AI expanded its search, it cross-referenced these Sumerian clues with modern genetic studies, particularly the 2025 Finnish DNA project led by David Reich at Harvard. That research uncovered rare genetic markers and Siberian traits in Finns dating back 4,500 years, traits unexplained by standard migration models. The AI flagged these as potential signs of ancient genetic manipulation, echoing David Icke's theory of reptilian or non-human influence on human bloodlines. But it didn't stop there. digital reconstructions of the Ur chambers revealed votive statues arranged in ritual patterns, similar to those found in Nippur, suggesting they were dedicated to gods like Nana, the moon deity, or Ereshkigal, ruler of the underworld. The AI then analyzed mythic texts such as the Enuma Elish and flood stories, estimating a 92% probability that the tablets describe astronomical events or cosmic catastrophes, possibly the same ones Sitchin linked to the Anunnaki's retreat during the Great Flood. Library of Forbidden Knowledge. Deep beneath the Great Ziggurat of Ur, archaeologists believe something extraordinary and possibly dangerous lies waiting. It's not gold or treasure, but what they now suspect to be an ancient sealed archive, a library of forgotten knowledge deliberately hidden thousands of years ago. Early scans suggest the chambers could be packed with clay tablets, the oldest writings of the Sumerian world. Yet what unsettles researchers most is not the age of these tablets, but what might be written on them. The Sumerians were not simple record keepers. Their cuneiform tablets documented everything from trade and farming to astronomy, but they also contained chilling accounts of things that blurred the line between myth and reality. Some describe sky demons descending from fiery clouds, rivers of flame sweeping across the land, and voices that spoke from the heavens. Others mention beings who fell to earth and taught mankind forbidden arts before vanishing into the sea of stars. These weren't scattered tales. They were written with the same precision as records of grain or lunar cycles. For centuries, scholars brushed them off as ancient imagination, but new interpretations suggest they might be eyewitness accounts of catastrophic events or something far stranger.
What we're looking at here is a Sumerian tablet that actually shows the Tree of Life.
What terrifies experts today is the idea that the sealed archive beneath Ur could hold the original versions of these texts, unedited, unfiltered, and never meant for human eyes again. If those tablets survived, they may reveal details that ancient priests considered too dangerous to share, knowledge powerful enough to reshape the entire story of civilization. Evidence from nearby Eridu supports this theory. Tablets discovered there told of celestial wars that darkened the skies, of floods sent by the gods to erase corruption, and of rituals meant to seal away the voices from beyond. Some historians believe these writings were deliberately buried to prevent them from spreading, suggesting that the ancients weren't just preserving history. They were hiding it. The Sumerians were advanced astronomers, capable of predicting eclipses with astonishing accuracy. Yet among their scientific records are eerie warnings. They wrote of nights when the moon bled red, of stars that fell like arrows, and of times when the heavens burned like oil. Some believe these describe meteor storms or solar flares, but others suspect they refer to something else. Encounters with forces the ancients couldn't explain. In some translations, the sky demons are said to walk among men, bringing gifts of light and death. Their presence was linked to floods, famine, and madness. There are even accounts of people who heard their voices and vanished soon after. Recently, AI analysis of LiDAR scans beneath the ziggurat revealed something even stranger: organic traces embedded among the supposed tablet layers that do not match any known human, animal, or plant material. Scientists can't explain how such material could survive 4,000 years, or what it truly is. Some whisper that not all the tablets are made of clay. If that is true, then the chambers below Ur might not just hold humanity's earliest writings, but objects of unknown origin disguised among them. Ancient texts mention the moon god Nana's living records, artifacts said to think, speak, and curse those who disturb them. Once dismissed as myth, these stories now feel more like warnings. Perhaps the priests of Ur sealed these chambers not out of devotion but fear. Fear that what was written inside could destroy the minds of those who read it. If that's true, then the chambers beneath Ur might not just hold the world's oldest writings. They could contain objects of unknown origin, disguised among them. Strange statues. The AI didn't just analyze scans, it analyzed history. For decades, museums have held these disturbing figurines, unearthed just miles from Ur. They have human-like bodies, but their heads are elongated, their eyes are alien, and some have reptilian features. Archaeologists call them the Ubaid figurines, but a more popular name is the lizard men.
These figurines generally date to the 5th millennium BC, created by the Ubaid culture of Mesopotamia.
Mainstream science suggests they are priests in ritual masks. The AI suggested another possibility. They were portraits. Long before Ur's rise, the Ubaid culture thrived in southern Mesopotamia, and what they left behind has puzzled experts for decades. At sites like Tel al-Ubaid, just a few miles from Ur, small figurines were unearthed, each barely a foot tall yet disturbingly detailed. These statues, often referred to as the lizard men, depict humanoid figures with elongated heads, large almond-shaped eyes, and scaly skin. Their forms are both familiar and alien, human yet reptilian. No one knows exactly what they represent. Mainstream archaeologists suggest they might be priests wearing ritual masks, symbolizing gods or mythological beings connected to fertility or the underworld. These masked figures, they believe, were used in ceremonies to honor deities or seek blessings for abundant crops. But not everyone agrees. Some researchers on the fringes argue that the Ubaid figurines might depict non-human beings the ancients believed they had encountered. Adding another layer to the mystery, later Sumerian artworks from cities like Lagash and Uruk show intricate designs that seem far ahead of their time. On ancient seals and temple carvings, there appear patterns of twin serpents intertwined, spiraling upward in a shape strikingly similar to the double helix structure of DNA, a design modern science didn't uncover until the 20th century. Most historians interpret these serpent motifs as representations of Ningish Zida, a Sumerian serpent god linked to life, healing, and the underworld. Yet, others can't help but wonder if these carvings symbolized something deeper, perhaps a forgotten understanding of life's building blocks passed down through priestly knowledge. If such carvings are found within Ur's sealed chambers, preserved since around 2100 BCE, they could point to an ancient legacy, one that blends spirituality, mythology, and a mysterious awareness of human origins. Archaeologists also suspect that votive statues might lie hidden in these underground rooms. These figures, discovered in other Mesopotamian temples, depict worshippers with wide, unblinking eyes and hands clasped in devotion. Made from stone or clay, they were placed before gods as eternal prayers, silent, watchful witnesses to rituals long forgotten. Yet, as intriguing as these artifacts are, they were only the beginning. The real shock came when researchers began analyzing organic traces found near the chambers. Buried DNA. After the discovery beneath the Great Ziggurat of Ur, one name resurfaced across academic circles and online forums alike: Zecharia Sitchin. For decades, his controversial interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts had been dismissed as pseudoscience. But now, with new underground findings hinting at advanced knowledge and possible non-human traces, Sitchin's ideas suddenly didn't seem so impossible to some. Sitchin, best known for his book The 12th Planet, proposed a bold theory that the Anunnaki, worshipped by the Sumerians as gods, were not divine beings at all, but visitors from another world, a planet he called Nibiru. According to his reading of cuneiform texts, these beings came to Earth around 500,000 years ago, drawn by the planet's abundance of gold, a resource they allegedly needed to repair their planet's fragile atmosphere. To obtain it, they began vast mining operations across Mesopotamia and Africa, using technology that early humans mistook for miracles. But Sitchin's most explosive idea wasn't about mining, it was about creation. He claimed the Anunnaki didn't just rule over early humans, they made us. By combining their own DNA with that of early hominids like Homo erectus, they engineered a new hybrid species, Homo sapiens, intelligent enough to work but obedient enough to serve. This, Sitchin said, was the real origin of mankind. Not divine creation, but genetic design. He argued that the tales of gods descending from the heavens, creating humans from clay, and then causing a great flood weren't religious metaphors, but encoded memories of real events, genetic experiments, environmental disasters, and divine departures. When the flood struck, caused perhaps by melting ice sheets or shifting oceans, the Anunnaki supposedly retreated only to return later and restart civilization, teaching humanity agriculture, writing, and astronomy. While mainstream historians reject these claims, some recent studies have raised eyebrows. Researchers at Harvard University, led by geneticist David Reich, published a paper analyzing the DNA of ancient Siberian and Uralic populations. What they found puzzled even the experts. Rare genetic variants that didn't match any known human lineage. These traits, linked to what scientists call the Finnish disease heritage, appeared suddenly about 4,500 years ago, around the same time Sumerian civilization was at its peak. The genetic patterns didn't fit typical migration or interbreeding models. Most geneticists interpret these findings as the result of isolated populations or unknown regional ancestors. But to some, the timing felt eerily close to Sitchin's timeline and to the mysterious disappearance and re-emergence of Sumerian culture after major floods. Was it a coincidence? Or could these strange DNA anomalies hint at something humanity still doesn't understand? A forgotten interference in our evolution. Disappearance and official cover-ups. The AI didn't just predict what was in the chambers, it warned us. It said the information buried beneath the ziggurat was so sensitive, it could rewrite human history. And now, it seems the AI was right. Just days after its findings were verified, the entire project suddenly went dark. 3 top archaeologists, including renowned cuneiform expert Dr. Elena Voss, disappeared without a trace. Officials blamed a sudden sandstorm, but encrypted logs analyzed by the AI told a different story, one involving external interference. Not long after, Iraqi authorities sealed off the entire site, citing vague terrorism concerns. The system, built on a self-learning transformer model inspired by NASA's Robonaut data link, detected strange irregularities in the LiDAR scans. These weren't natural geological patterns. They looked like signs of a deliberate cover-up, but those close to the project whispered comparisons to similar vanishings near Amphipolis in Greece, where other ancient discoveries were quietly buried under official silence. Satellite images of Ur, taken just after the discovery, revealed unauthorized access to the site, unknown vehicles, and faint heat signatures right before authorities sealed it off. These events echo long-standing claims by writers like David Icke, who insist that elite organizations actively suppress evidence connecting the Anunnaki and their reptilian depictions to human origins. If the tablets beneath Ur truly exist, they might contain details of genetic experiments similar to what Zecharia Sitchin described decades ago. Some experts even suggest the texts could align with modern DNA studies, like those revealing unusual Siberian genetic markers in Finnish populations, possibly proof of ancient genetic manipulation. The AI also detected fragments in the data that could represent astronomical charts or celestial warnings, similar to the Mayan death wall glyphs, decoded in 2024. If correct, these tablets might describe cosmic cycles or cataclysmic events, the kind of knowledge that could challenge today's scientific and religious systems. Then came another twist: seismic tremors near Ur, recorded shortly after the site was locked down. The AI noted their pattern matched controlled underground detonations, like those in the 2025 Fordo incident in Iran. Could someone be trying to destroy evidence before it's fully uncovered? As the site remains sealed and questions multiply, one thing feels certain. Whatever lies beneath Ur is being kept from the world. We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more amazing stories.